One of the things that comes with getting older is I think I can share these blasts from the past with you. Back in the early 2000s, there was heavy petitioning to legalize gay marriage, and then we had these ridiculous knuckle-dragging conservatives talking about where it was going to lead. Like, yeah, right, am I right? The porpoise-driven wife. He finds this one outrageous story. O'Reilly links same-sex marriage to UK woman who married a dolphin. Once again, Bill O'Reilly repeated his argument that same-sex marriage will lead to interspecies marriage. I mean, listen to this. It is the most ridiculous item of the universe to me.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. One of the arguments against gay marriage that we just spoke about is that if it becomes law, all other alternative marital visions will be allowed.
Yeah, right.
We've already seen a Dutchman marry two ladies
What's wrong with
the
that?
Netherlands. Looks like a happy guy. And now comes word that a British woman has married a dolphin in Israel. 41-year-old Sharon Tendler has tied the knot with a 35-year-old mammal. So age is no problem there. There might be other issues, which would be, of course, ridiculous to get into. And there is one more thing. The dolphin is a female, Cindy, so you've got that going on.
Breaking down barriers.
A honeymoon ritual, but far be it from me to know anything about that. But despite everything, we wish the couple the best, and we hope to see them at SeaWorld or someplace.
Thank goodness for Media Matters. God, the intolerance of the right is always on display. I mean, O'Reilly keeps repeating that legalizing gay marriage will lead to interspecies nuptials. So far, his, quote, predictions include marriages between humans and goats and between humans and ducks. Yeah, nice predictions, Bill. In other news, German bestiality buffs demand legalization of sex with animals. 2022. German beastialitists are protesting to eliminate the country's animal protection law, which forbids having any sexual relations between humans and animals. To that end, Bavarian zoophiles held a public demonstration demanding recognition in a Zoophilia Pride March. Huh? They got a little symbol. Oh no. It's what's going on? Huh?
Once I had
look at this dude.
A sexual relationship with an animal. It was a dog, a male dog.
You did?
Who was, who used me, let's say.
He used you?
In the moment, I
what does that mean?
With a German Shepherd bitch.
Don't call your wife that. Look at, oh no.
For me, it is far easier to build an emotional relationship to an animal than to a human.
Get some game, dog.
And so for me, it's even easier to have some sexual contact with an animal than with a human.
Oh yeah? Oh no. Look, you're talking to women. Oh, she spits. Whew. One of the protesters told Russia's state-owned Rupley it's possible to form loving sexual relationships with animals. It's easier to build a relationship with animals than humans, because they have the brains of like a 4-year-old. Bruh, look at the dog's face. Whew. Wow. Right now, breaking the animal protection law faces a penalty of 25,000 euros. Meanwhile, in Australia, there's the upcoming Festival of Dangerous Ideas that will host Professor Joanna Burke to discuss the ethics of human-loving animals. I guess love is love? Is that what all those signs mean? Yikes. Now, outraged Australians took to social media in protest to lash out against the festival's organizers for allowing the presentation. They said it was intellectualizing animal abuse. Intellectualizing about the abuse of animals isn't edgy or cool. It is abhorrent, and anyone who attends this event is an immoral, and some sort of word that starts with a C. I don't know. Kook, I suppose. Yeah. So about that tolerance. A local church on my Nextdoor app posted, it was a picture similar to this, but not a fancy church, but their pride flag over their crucifix got stolen, and they were very upset because, tolerance. And I thought, this is the perfect symbol to demonstrate the difference between the so-called virtue of tolerance and the actual Christian virtue of discernment. Because you have to ask yourself, if you consider tolerance a virtue, where do you draw the red line? Because anywhere you say this far and no further, that's the limits of your tolerance. That is the point where you become intolerant, and thus fail your own standard for virtue. So either tolerance necessarily has to have limits, in which case it is self-refutational and no longer tolerance, or it has no limits at all. And, clearly there's people that are willing to go there, no matter how dark, no matter how depraved, they will go there. I mean, I don't even really want to go into the details. It's kind of so gross. But this is why Christianity says no to certain things. This is why it requires a discerning mind, a keen mind, argument. And let's face it, for this dude that was talking, I'm glad we have free speech. That's a pretty important value to have in society, too. I don't want to censor these people. Let them talk. Let them identify themselves, because if I go on vacation, you're certainly not going to be dog sitting while I'm gone. I mean, we should probably have pictures posted of these people at your local bark park. Watch out. And those of you that have just rolled along with the ever-moving goalposts on these kind of issues have to realize it doesn't stop where you think it's okay. J.K. Rowling learned this firsthand, and now she's a turf, conservative, anti-this, whatever. And she's treated absolutely horribly in the press. They will go after you wherever you draw a red line, wherever you become intolerant. This is by design. It's what it's supposed to do. You're not being virtuous. You're being the opposite of virtuous, because you're just going along with the current. And the current is always this. Any sort of deviancy is always about population control. It is always about destroying the nuclear family, taking apart what is the most powerful unit against centralized state power. A mother and a father and children makes the basis for a society and is the basic building block of a unit of a society that can resist authoritarianism. And if you think this is truly bizarre, you've got to take a step back and look at it from the 10,000-foot level. There's a quote that can be traced back at least as far as the SDS, Students for a Democratic Society, which is a radical left student organization often credited as the main force that created the New Left. It existed from the 1960s until the early 1970s, but is basically the spiritual predecessor to all the radical left stuff that you see today. And the saying is this: the issue is never the issue. The issue is always the revolution. And this is the mistake people have made. They get, their heartstrings played on, some event or another, or appeals to their identity, or they take something and weaponize it, but it's never about making a more fair and just society. It is about burning everything down and instituting their ideology and its worship of absolute control. And it is a cult, because ask yourself, you are not allowed to think for yourself. If this leftist ideology once again tells you to wear masks permanently, you know that the people that vote Democrat and support the left will wear masks permanently, and they will use every ounce of power. No matter what, pick it. There are people that will go along with this. They have given up their ability to think and have independent conclusions or even independent feelings and reactions, and they will ostracize their family, and they will cut people off who may have gone with them this entire journey down the leftist madness rabbit hole. But the second they say, I think that making it with your dog is wrong and we should do something to stop that, they will cut you out like that. You become the bad guy. As bad as Bill O'Reilly was back then, that is you right now. No difference. You're a bigot. And we're truly living in the upside down world, and truth is stranger than fiction when Bill O'Reilly becomes a prophet.